request to keep your mobile phones on a silent mode and remain actively present during the seminar. So let's begin the seminar today. So once again, good afternoon to one and all. Namaskar, Jai Jai Garvi Gujarat. On behalf of Startup Cell Industries Commissionerate, Government of Gujarat, I warmly welcome you all to the startup seminar under Vibrant Gujarat Regional Conference, Central Gujarat, being held here in culturally rich, industrially strong, and innovation-ready city of Vadodara. Today's seminar is based on the theme Igniting Gujarat's Next Growth Chapter Through Innovation Across Industries. આ થીમ સેન્ટ્રલ ગુજરાત માટે ખૂબ જ અગત્યનો છે because Central Gujarat has everything. For example, industries, institutions, talent, and entrepreneurial spirit. So now the requirement is to build a strong network among all this and create an ecosystem. So friends, startup is not just about funding, validation, or technology. Startups are about identifying real problems, building practical solutions, creating employment, and strengthening industries and shaping the future economy. નવી સોચ, નવી તક અને નવી દિશા આ ત્રણ વસ્તુ આજે સ્ટાર્ટઅપ ઇકોસિસ્ટમનો મૂળ આધાર છે. Today, this seminar will take us through a very interesting journey from regional growth to cross-state learning, from aerospace to semiconductors, from Central Gujarat startup potential to women-led innovation and public purpose entrepreneurship. So let's begin this seminar with high spirits, active participation, applause flowing, and shared belief that next innovation story can come right here from Central Gujarat. To begin today's seminar, we have a session that sets the foundation for entire discussion. The topic is startups as growth catalyst for the region. Normally, જ્યારે આપણે સ્ટાર્ટઅપની વાત કરીએ ત્યારે આપણે કેવલ ટેકનોલોજી કાં તો ફંડિંગની વાત કરીએ, બટ aspects like startups, accelerating regional development, employment generation, MSME linkage, and local problem solving is equally important. So, to share the government's perspective on how startups can become a growth catalyst for the region, may I now invite Shri R.D. Bharat, Joint Commissioner Industries, to address the gathering.
Good afternoon, everyone. Distinguished dignitaries, my fellow speakers, esteemed industry leaders, visionary investors, brilliant mentors, and most importantly, my young, energetic, and innovative friends from Central Gujarat region and across Gujarat. A very warm welcome to all of you. While I try to set the context of this today's seminar, I would like to say that it is an absolute honor for me to be with you today at this VGRC conference. When we think of Vibrant Gujarat, our mind obviously flash to massive investment summits, multi-million dollars MOUs, colossal manufacturing plants, and mega infrastructure projects. But today, as we initiate this startup seminar ahead of the technical sessions that are ensued, we are focusing on the very heartbeat of Gujarat's future economy, that is our startups. Vibrant Gujarat is no longer just a platform for established conglomerates. It has evolved into a launchpad for grassroots innovators. It is a testament to the fact that while big industries form the backbone of our state. Our startups are the wings that will carry Gujarat into the global skies of innovation. Friends, when we talk about the startup ecosystem of Gujarat, we are talking about a phenomenon that is both historically grounded and futuristically driven. Let us look at the facts. For multiple consecutive years, Gujarat has been ranked as the best performer in the national startup ranking by the Department for Promotion of Industries and Internal Trade, that is DPIIT. This is not a coincidence. This is a result of meticulously crafted visionary policy framework. The government of Gujarat was among the earliest to recognize that the traditional rules of business were changing. Through the Gujarat Startup Policy and Student Startup and Innovation Policy, SSIP, the state did something revolutionary. It democratized entrepreneurship. It took innovation out of high-end corporate labs and brought it straight to college classrooms and messy garage workshops. Look at the infrastructure we have built. We have iHub, the Gujarat Student Startup and Innovation Hub, acting as a state-of-the-art nerve center, transforming raw, chaotic student ideas into scalable, viable business models. We have institutional powerhouses, and right here in Vadodara and the surrounding regions, we have a network of incubation centers that are handholding founders through their toughest initial years. But what truly makes Gujarat unique? What is our unfair advantage over any other ecosystem in the world? It is our unprecedented MSME and startup synergy. Gujarat boasts one of the densest and most robust MSME networks in the country. For a startup, this is a pure gold. If you are a hardware startup, a clean tech innovator, or an automation provider, your entire supply chain, from raw materials and precision prototyping to manufacturing and testing, is sitting right in your backyard. You do not need to look across the country or import from abroad. A local MSME in Vadodara, Ahmedabad, or Surat can become your partner. This beautiful alignment of traditional manufacturing prowess and modern tech agility is something no other state can replicate quite like Gujarat. However, as we stand on the cusp of the technical sessions today, my job as the initiator of this program is not just to applaud our successes, but to gently probe the gaps and point towards our next destination. We must talk about the issues and the challenges. For decades, Gujarat has been the undisputed king of trade and manufacturing. We know how to buy, we know how to sell, we know how to make textiles, and we know how to process chemicals. But the global landscape is changing at a breakneck speed. The future does not belong merely to those who manufacture, it also belongs to those who own the intellectual property. Therefore, our biggest challenge and our greatest opportunity lies in transitioning from traditional to tech. We need our startup ecosystem to pivot heavily toward deep tech, artificial intelligence, green hydrogen, electric mobility, and Industry 4.0. We must move from being a state that adopts technology to the state that creates core technology. Another issue we need to address is our mindset regarding scaling. Often our startups build fantastic products but limit their vision to local or regional markets. My message to you today is clear: think global from day one. The problems you are solving in Vadodara, whether in water management, sustainable packaging, agriculture efficiency, or smart logistics, are problems that cities in Africa, Southeast Asia, and Latin America are also facing. Build your solutions here, validate them in our robust local market, but design them to conquer international standards. Furthermore, we must ensure that our ecosystem remains inclusive. The startup revolution shouldn't be an elitist club restricted to a few English-speaking tier 2 and tier 1 cities, metro cities. True innovation happens when a son of a farmer or a daughter of a small shopkeeper in tier 2 or tier 3 towns uses technology to solve real world pain point. We must continuously strengthen our regional incubators to bridge this gap. My young friends, they say that in Gujarat, entrepreneurship is not a career choice, it is written into our very DNA. Risk taking is not an alien concept to us, it is a way of life. The spirit of Dando is in our blood. But today we must elevate that spirit into the realm of high tech innovation. Do not fear failure. In a thriving startup ecosystem, failure is not a stigma, it is a building block. It is simply data on how not to do something. It's a necessary milestone on the road to success. As we transition into the following sessions today, you will hear from experts who will dive deep into the mechanics of funding, the realities of scaling, intellectual property rights, and technological integration. I urge you all to use this seminar not to just listen passively, but to actively network, disrupt, question, and collaborate. Find your co-founders here, find your mentors here. Let us utilize this VGRC to pledge that we will not just participate in India's growth story, we will lead it. Let us build startups that are sustainable, scalable, and globally significant. Thank you very much. Jai Jai Garvi Gujarat.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving a good start to the seminar. You have connected startups with regional growth, employment, global connect, and larger development vision of Gujarat. So before starting our session 2, I'm seeing a lot of young bloods and young minds and enthusiastic founders and entrepreneurs. But the energy in the seminar hall is very low. Are we all here? Are we all here? Can't. So let's give a huge round of applause for yourself. So keeping this energy throughout, so let's move on. So now let's widen our horizons as we move to a session that brings an outside perspective and to broader towards the topic of the seminar today. The next topic is strengthening startup ecosystem, cross-state policy, and best practices. No startup ecosystem grows in isolation. Like a thriving forest, it flourishes as regions learn from each other, adopt best practices, and grow in a way shaped by their unique strengths. As Telangana has created a strong identity in innovation and startup ecosystem building, today we have the opportunity to learn from their experience and understand what policy practice can be relevant for Gujarat. So for that, may I now invite Shri Miraj Fahim, CEO, Telangana Innovation Cell, Government of Telangana, to share his insights.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Let's do a quick vibe check. This is my first time in Gujarat, and thank you so much for having me. And I've learned a couple of words. And the first one, obviously, is Kem Cho Gujarat. Lovely people, lovely hospitality. So thank you so much again, for having me. I'm Miraj Fahim. I lead the State Innovation Cell for Government of Telangana. For those who don't know, Telangana was the youngest state of the country. We were formed as part of the bifurcation of Andhra Pradesh, and in the last 12-ish years of our existence, we have made great strides, and I'm here to share, a few things that worked out for us, here to learn a few things that worked out great for, everybody else, because if we want to emerge as winners as a country, then we all have to work together. And picking up from what Bharat sir just mentioned, great ideas can come from anywhere, and it takes a village to raise a child. So it takes a full country to build great startups, and we don't know where the next idea is going to come from, probably sitting in this room right now. So So I'm going to share a few best practices that we at Government of Telangana have been trying to work on, and I'm going to share my founder's perspective because I've been a founder all my life and before I took up this role. So one of the most important things that you have to understand, that we bring in or we do in Telangana is of course, we do have a very strong local ecosystem, but our ecosystem is one of the things that we take great pride in about our ecosystem is it's extremely decentralized, it's extremely democratized, and we have a lot of incubators that actually form this ecosystem. In the last 1.5 years, what we also did is we went beyond Hyderabad. Hyderabad is the capital of Telangana, which is where you will find majority of the action happening. But to decentralize that action, what we also did is we have, built our roots in all the 33 districts of Telangana. What that means is any innovator from any institution, it could be a, student innovator, student entrepreneur, or, someone who's working full-time job but is working on, an idea, can just walk into an innovation center in any of the district and help get their ideas converted into products into businesses, and businesses into successful businesses. Right, and this again, everything boils down to and connects back, to Hyderabad, where you will find world's largest innovation ecosystem that we have built. You might have heard of T Hub, which is spread across 575,000, square feet, 5,75,000 square feet of innovation space, which makes it India's largest innovation campus. You also see T-Works there, which is India's largest prototyping center for precision manufacturing. I'm not sure if how many of you have followed the news, but last month India added another unicorn in the space tech space, the startup called Skyroot, which is again based out of Hyderabad. The spare parts of the rocket that these guys have launched, or the technology that they've built, was prototyped at T-Works. So that's the kind of infrastructure support that we are talking about. If you walk into T-Hub, I can almost guarantee you can find answers to all your questions. I can almost guarantee you if you walk into T-Works, you will find the right material to 3D build your idea, give it a shape. It could be wood, it could be any polymer, it could be any form of metal, it could be anything. So that's the kind of infrastructure that we have created, from the government side, that is available to literally any entrepreneur, who's going to walk in, and not just, of course, for Telangana. Adding to this is WeHub, which is again in India's first of its kind innovation ecosystem space for women only, for women first enterprises. Now this is an important initiative if you take a closer look at, looking at both the diversity of innovation ecosystem, looking at the importance of building spaces where everybody will feel comfortable to work on whatever they are working on, because you will not find everybody working on the same ideas and will need the same kind of attention and energy, right? Which is exactly what demanded a new space for women-led enterprises, for them to work on their ideas, give them the energy and the steam that it needs. It's led by, so all the institutions are led by very able individuals, and if you walk in there, you will find a lot of MSMEs, you will find a lot of startups, you will find a lot of technology startups, and things that will actually blow your mind. So I would also take this opportunity to invite you all to come to Hyderabad, visit all these places. In fact, feel free to roam across Telangana, be our guest. We'll be more than happy to introduce you to the larger ecosystem. All of this again, falls under the state innovation policy, which again was the first of its kind in the country. We look up to Gujarat for its, extremely futuristic, policies and schemes and benefits that it offers to its, MSMEs and, entrepreneurs, and especially in manufacturing. And like Sir said, Gujarat has been the best performing state for the past 5 years, and we have been trying to get there. And every year when we are there in Delhi waiting for the results to announce, and Gujarat is always there. So congratulations, on that one. And I, in very healthy spirit, want to say that, next year we'll also be there in that group with you, Gujarat, because that is exactly what we are getting up for. And we learn a lot. We learn a lot from, everybody. Gujarat, Karnataka, Kerala, who've been, in the best performing segment. All of this falls under the state innovation policy, which is exactly what my mandate at Government of Telangana is. Telangana State Innovation Cell was formed as part of the state innovation policy in 2016, which led to the creation of T-Hub, which led to the creation of T-Works, which led to the creation of V-Hub, and many more such enterprises like RICH, Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad, which basically works with any innovation in life sciences, healthcare, health tech, medtech space. So if you are a founder, if you are a founder in medtech or life sciences space, you know that the number of regulatory requirements that you will have to fulfill. And to be very honest, as an entrepreneur, you don't have the faintest of the ideas on who to reach out to and how to actually, get through that, which is exactly where Rich comes into picture and, supports these founders, and they take care of that, part of the headache, and you get to focus on building your product, which is your IP. Telangana again takes, extreme pride in supporting things that might not make sense today, but are absolutely necessary for the future of the state and the country. Which is where the deep tech comes into picture. All the frontier technologies that you see. In fact, we have set up something called ICOM, which is going to be India's largest AI center of excellence. So if you are an AI startup and you need a lot of GPUs or you need a lot of talent, then Hyderabad is the place for you to be. It's being set up with an initial budget of 100 crore rupees, which has been already approved, and you will see it in action very, very soon. Followed by funds of funds, which again, government extremely is proud of supporting both the grassroots innovators and social innovators, which again falls under the purview of State Innovation Cell, which is my mandate. What this means is, and you will see, if you go to the State Innovation Cell's website, you will see hundreds of grassroots innovators that were supported in the past 4 years, 5 years, that have gone to generating crores of ARR. And we are not talking about them in sense of, sympathy. We are talking about grassroots innovators identifying problems and building solutions to solve those local problems and finding market for them and finding market, for those innovations. And we have a very long list of innovators. We have a very long list of innovations that we have been supporting, and we have been proud to be supporting, which is exactly what I believe is the future of the country. Last week, Adani announced, I'm forgetting the name, but Vande Bharatam. Thank you. Yes. Supporting grassroots innovators. And this is exactly what we have been doing for the past 8 years of State Innovation Cell's existence. And I believe every state in the country should actually take a closer look at it. And we, Telangana, would be very happy to share whatever we have, would be very happy to, put our best practices and frameworks in your hands, so we all win as a country, right? Lastly, 3 things that I want to leave you with. One, the host institution model that State Innovation Cell follows, creating innovation centers across the state where we include schools and colleges, NGOs, for-profit and not-for-profit organizations to accommodate innovators and entrepreneurs and help them help take their idea shape. Followed by innovation panchayats. This is one-on-one mentoring model where we do not interfere at all. We just give them a platform and we find local innovators, we find local mentors, and they support together. This is built on our country's age-old and proven model of panchayat, where the ecosystem heads sit together, solve the local problems, solve the community problems. And this is exactly what we brought to the innovation ecosystem, calling it Innovation Panchayat. Lastly, the incubator fellowship model. I believe I've built an incubator previously, which became India's largest idea stage startup incubator, non-academic, for students. And my primary learning from that has been India needs hundreds of incubators. And we will need thousands and thousands of incubator management professionals to run these incubators, right? And I'm very glad to see AIM actually picking up this responsibility and building on this model, and we are working very closely with them. So I believe we need to come up with a cross state fellowship model where we send our incubator management professionals to your state, and you can come to us and you can see and learn what we are doing. And I believe we need to do this a lot because, like I said, we need thousands and thousands of incubator management professionals to help and breed the next set of startups, next set of unicorns, next set of founders and entrepreneurs who are going to make us absolutely proud. So thank you so much for having me. It's been a great learning experience so far, and I hope you picked up some points from Telangana, and I hope to see you there. And if you're coming to Telangana, please feel free to drop me an email, and I would love to be your host, take you around and show you what we have got. We have a line that we say in Telangana, Telangana Zarur Aana. And with that invitation, I'll take your leave. Thank you so much again, and have a good rest of the day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And do we have any questions? We can take quick 1 or 2 questions if you have anything for the speaker. Anyone? Nothing? इसके 2 ही रीज़न हो सकते हैं. यहाँ तो he explained it very well that you all are in, otherwise सब bounce हो रहा है. ऐसा है? Okay, sir, please.
Yes, you can use the Startup Telangana portal, and every state has its own startup portal. You can use that to apply. But I'll give you one uninvited advice as a founder myself. Disproportionate success demands disproportionate efforts, right? While traveling to Telangana might be, a long journey, but it's going to be absolutely worth it, right? And that is the first thing that you could do to prove that you deserve disproportionate success, right? And that's a mindset. It's more than a technicality, it's more than a policy, it's more than a scheme, right? And I believe I'm here from Telangana. I'm coming in here to, do this 20-minute talk, right? Why? Not just to deliver the talk, but to absorb the vibe and the energy of Gujarat, go back and implement that, right? Because I want a disproportionate success for my state, right? And I hope you got my point.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would be very happy to help you with that. You just have to write an email to cio@telangana.gov.in. I'm the CIO, and I will be connecting you with the people who will help you in taking your journey forward. That's the only thing you need to do. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And your insights shows us that policy, institution, and execution, when aligned, creates a stronger startup ecosystem. So, as a token of appreciation, may I request Bharat sir to kindly present a memento to Shri Miraj Fahim. Sir, please be on the stage. A big round of applause, please. थैंक यू सो मच. फिर से तालियों में कंजूसी. आफ्टर Do we have a quick question? Can you be precise? Then we'll take. Yeah. Thank you. So from policy, now we move on to founder's journey and to that in one of the most challenging sectors, that is aerospace. Our next session is on building deep tech startups in aerospace, its reality, risks, and rewards. To take us through this journey, may I invite Shri Harsh Joshi, founder, Cligent Aerospace, with a big round of applause.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. This side Harsh Joshi. I'm co-founder and CEO of Cligent Aerospace. It's been an absolute honor and pleasure to be speaking at Vibrant Gujarat Summit, Jai Jai Garvi Gujarat. It's been 2 years since I have been working on this project, and we have been working on India's first hybrid electric STOL aircraft, that is short takeoff and landing aircraft for regional air mobility. Now, even few years back, it was more of when someone says startup, it was more about software, AI, or maybe a mobile application. But here I would like to address a different kind of challenge of the startup that is more into the deep tech and that is also into the aerospace domain, which is considered as the most challenging part of the journey. So here I would covering 3 major points. What is the reality of building deep tech startup in aerospace in India? I will share my personal journey as well, and what is the rewards as well, right? So myself, I have been working, I'm breathing aerospace and defense in whole my career. I was started in here, Vadodara NCC, Indian Air Force number 1 Air Squadron NCC. And then I joined Azista Aerospace as research and development engineer. After that, I changed my job role at from pure technical person to the business guy. I was head of business development at Galaxy Space in Bangalore. Now it's been 2 years since we are working on Cligent Aerospace, where we are building India's first hybrid electric STOL aircraft for regional air mobility. Now, to move to the specific aerospace domain, I would like to tell you more about what is exactly deep tech. Deep tech is not just applying the technology, but it is to create the new technologies. Years of innovations, research, our roots are mainly into the science and engineering concepts and making into the reality, which can get into the commercializations. Deep tech requires more patience. It requires to develop new technology. Even after many years, you might get failed in your just first product itself. So deep tech in general required patience and significant capital to get into the market with your just first product. Now, what is actually reality of aerospace in India? In last decade, you all seen remarkable growth in space tech companies, drone companies, propulsion companies, advanced manufacturing companies, AI companies. But despite of this momentum, building an aerospace startup is still an incredibly hard job. There is government policies like InSpace, IDEX, Make in India initiative, T-Hub. These are the initiatives where we can leverage starting from the prototyping to the final go-to market for our first product. So these initiatives are there, but still as a founder, you have to take the challenge to have a patience. You should have the right team at right place, and you should focus on just one thing. And that is the challenge that majority founders are doing in the deep tech aerospace domain at this point of time itself. What are the risks? So when I say aerospace, definitely it's a significant investable capital heavy business, right? We required a lot of money. So the first risk is the capital. it doesn't have to be just capital. We require the patient capital where years of research can go in drain. So patient capital is the one part. The second is the right team. When you have the capital, you can attract the team, but to put right person for the right job, that is the role of a founder. The third is the timing. Even if you have the more money and the right team, you should spend enough time to build the product which will be get into the market with the right customer segment. So third is the timing. The fourth is the certification. At each and every stage, aerospace products, aerospace components required certification because the safety is a major issue in the aerospace. So the certification is the fourth segment. Let's suppose you have done all these things right, still the supply chain issue is there. You have the good research, you have good team, you have good money, but if your motor, if your component is getting delayed, your product will be getting delayed. So these are more of a bird eye view of the risk of a deep tech aerospace startup. But despite of this challenging, people are still choose to work in this particular segment because the rewards are immense. So I would, starting from the when you are putting more money, definitely as a reward you will get more money, right? So that is the one economic leverage that you can have with the aerospace domain. The second is the intellectual property that you can create in this particular domain. Not just in the aerospace, but aerospace is basically can create across industry intellectual property starting from the automotive to the electronics and the manufacturing segment. To control an whole aircraft, you required control system, you required the propulsion system, you required the structure, you required the aerodynamic team. So across industry, you are there to innovate. So this is the best reward as a founder that you can get. The third major reward, that is you are creating a lot of jobs. Apart from the economic sense, there is a government data where one aircraft company directly, indirectly is creating 600 jobs in their own company as well as with their vendor and partners. The major reward that we can get, that is we are building the technology which can get into the nation building. So this is you can see that major aerospace companies across the globe are not just the private company, but these are the technologies who build the nations, starting from the Airbus and Boeing, and now also the Lockheed Martin and many others. Now, as a founder, as a deep tech aerospace founder, definitely the journey is super hard. There are more bad days than good days, but internally we have this one saying that I would like to leave you with this thought that as Indian, we have to get very comfortable by doing the hard things. If not, we will be definitely dependent on the technologies that we are currently importing. So this is Client Aerospace. You can connect me anytime on my email as well as on my LinkedIn. Thank you so much. Jai Jai Garvi Gujarat.
Thank you so much for the inspiring session. So, as a token of appreciation, I may request Bharat sir to please kindly present a memento to Shri Harsh Joshi. Big round of applause, please. Yes, moving ahead, we now come to a topic that is shaping the future of our every industry. To the audience, any guesses? Any more? Yes, correct. So the topic is semiconductors as the backbone for next innovation, opportunities for Gujarat in the global chip ecosystem. For Gujarat, So there's a bit glitch. We'll take this session next as our speaker is on the way. So let's hold our horses here for the session. Let's build our curiosity here. And we move forward to our next session, which is one of the most engaging and engaging segments of this today's seminar, that is our panel discussion. And the topic is unlocking startup opportunities in central Gujarat. As Bharat sir said in the speech initially, that Gujarat ma entrepreneurship and business blood ma che, right? But the question is how that spirit can be scaled up to convert to its highest potential. Because as I said earlier, Central Gujarat has all, like industries, universities, MSME, whatnot, making it a powerhouse for innovation and growth. But opportunity will convert into impact only when the ecosystems work in synergy. And to this, we have an excellent panel representing industry, academia, ecosystem builders, and founder experience. So may I now invite our distinguished panelist. First, Mr. Samir Parik, President, TAI Vadodara. Please give a good round of applause. Mr. Ankit Macha, National Head Startups, Wadhwani Foundation. Mr. Rutvik Patel, Convener, CII Gujarat Startup Task Force. And Mr. Naitik Chautai, Founder, Fundu Labs Creative Learning Private Limited. With that, I would also like to invite Dr. Bhavin Pandya, Dean, Kadi Sarva Vishwavidyalaya, to the stage as he'll be moderating the session. I request everybody to please take your seats.
Hello. So good afternoon to everyone. Once again, welcome to this startup seminar where specifically this session is meant for unlocking the potential of startup, especially in central Gujarat region where you all come and the energy is immense. When we all are approaching towards this particular venue, we saw the huge crowd. It was very difficult for the guests, I believe, to just enter into this premise, but eventually we all could make it. So first, big round of applause for us. And thanks to all of you amid this humidity and more than 40-degree temperature, you all could manage to sit in this room. You are all eager to learn something about the startup ecosystem. But before that, I just want to congratulate Shri R.D. Bharat, Joint Commissioner Industries, for organizing this wonderful thing. And believe me, I'll tell a few more things about him. For last 11 years, he has been constantly engaged with startup ecosystems. Even though it's tenure and stint at District Industry Center, he contributed that. And in all the three policies of startup for Gujarat, 2016, 20, 2025, and recently, last week, we have launched Gujarat Industry Policy for Viksit Bharat 2026 to 31. In all the three policies, he was backbone to develop startups for Gujarat. So big round of applause for him. Thank you, my colleague Ria from Startup Gujarat Cell EY, who coordinated the entire efforts. And we'll do this random because of the startup ecosystem. And let me break some ice. So, yeah, but very senior man on my left, Samir Parikh Saab, is the founder of Naman HR Solutions and very passionate about the manpower and bringing innovations in recruitment and other things. And Samirji is also president of TAI, the Industry Entrepreneur, which is a very prominent body in the world, and they have various chapters. My friend Jatin must be accompanying him, Jatin Trivedi, at various posts. So this is very important thing. And first question we'll ask, because as he's a senior person in the ecosystem, sir, how will you facilitate now startups, those who are budding students who are sitting here, and what should be the message for them for time to come? Because next 5 years, will be very critical, friends. Let me tell at this note few points of industry policy. We are eyeing a $1 billion economy by 2030, and probably in Viksit Bharat 2047, we are eyeing $3.2 trillion contribution from Gujarat. So are you all ready? Yes. That's great. So that's the energy that we bring in startup ecosystem. Sir, we'll start with you. Samir ji, please.
Thank you. Thanks, Bhavin. Just to clarify, I am not Rajasthani. I am also Gujarati. It is Samir Parikh and not K Parikh. So just to clarify that, most of you understand Gujarati very well. Okay, because I firmly believe language is only vehicle for communication and not a reflection of smartness. So વચ્ચે વચ્ચે ગુજરાતીમાં વાતો કરીશું so that you feel more comfortable. તમને લોકોને પણ થોડું એ લાગે કે yes, we can talk about this. Yeah, I think first of all, startup વસ્તુ એ gender agnostic છે, age agnostic છે, region agnostic છે. What do I mean by that? કે just because you are not in Hyderabad, because T-Hub, we all look forward to T-Hub with lot of interest. Just because I am not in tier 1 cities, because tier 2, tier 3 mathi, in fact, the data speaks last 2 years there is a more success from tier 2, tier 3 cities. Just because I am not in Ahmedabad and I am in central Gujarat, because data speaks 2023 Vadodara surpassed both Ahmedabad and Surat in attracting the startup investment. We had $65 million investment for startup in Vadodara, which was higher than Ahmedabad and Surat. એટલે ડેટા છે કે region agnostic છે, gender agnostic છે, age agnostic છે. મારું પણ પોતાનું સ્ટાર્ટઅપ છે એટલા માટે કહું છું. Only thing it is bootstrap, but that also we have, because we do a lot of work in the area of culture and leadership across the globe. The point I am trying to say કે અને જ્યારે હું ટાઈના president તરીકે અહીંયા બેઠો છું, which has, KPMG's report of 2022-23 has documented every single initiative that TAI has taken across the globe through thousands of charter members and through some 60 odd chapters. So we have done huge investment which runs into billions of dollars, and also the mentoring. As a startup, ગુજરાતનો પ્રશ્ન સ્ટાર્ટઅપનો છે જ નહીં કદાચ, કારણ કે એઝ બરાડ સાહેબે કહ્યું, વી આર ઇન ધ ટોપ 5, રેન્કિંગ નંબર 1 ઇન સ્ટાર્ટઅપ પોલિસી. તો સ્કેફોલ્ડિંગ બહુ સરસ કર્યું છે. ઓકે, the still challenge is we have been able to attract only 1.3% of the startup capital from across the India. It is one of the lowest as far as capital attraction is concerned. And I think કદાચ સ્ટાર્ટઅપ કરતાં storytelling problem વધારે છે. We often find it difficult કે હું very short 3 મિનિટમાં 5 મિનિટમાં મારી pitch કેવી રીતે મૂકું, કેવી રીતે કોઈને હું attract કરું કે જેથી એ મને વધારે question પૂછે અને મારામાં વધારે interest લે. And I think it is also to some extent a synergy with the established corporate houses in Gujarat. કારણ કે we need all three things. We need funding, we need market, and we need mentoring. અને ઘણી બધી વાર ફંડિંગ કદાચ થઈ પણ જતું હોય છે, અને with the very attractive policy that now you have, and with GVFL being very strong in reaching out to startups, and also quite a few accelerators, and we have someone sitting here, we'll be talking about that, and I mean there are Ankit also. So I think we'll be talking about that. But with that in place, I think it is not very difficult to get the financial support. What is important is for us to create right kind of, the attraction about the idea that I'm working on. And the most important part is both passion and hard work, not only to work on your own idea, but also willing to pivot to another one if the one doesn't work. Because often we get so much wedded to our idea કે ના હવે આને ગમે તે થાય, હું આને પ્રૂવ કરીને જ રહીશ. 2 વર્ષ, 3 વર્ષ, 5 વર્ષ, 7 વર્ષ. અને that's where somewhere there is a point where I lose the steam. Nothing wrong in pivoting. In fact, globally, the data says that very large number of successful, enterprises that happens. So be ready for creating your pitch, which is all the time creating that kind of attraction. Even if you are meeting someone just in the corridors or just while you are moving across, don't judge the book by its cover. You never know. I mean, there may be investors sitting next to you in this room. There may be someone who is ready to offer you market sitting right in this room. And just be very bold in terms of sharing what you are already working on, what all efforts you have done, and get into the details of that. At TIE, we are ready to facilitate any kind of support that you are all looking forward to. It's a very young chapter because we started just 3 years back. So it's still putting all its ecosystem in place, but we are here to support you fully.
Sorry. Thank you, and really they are the word of wisdom. And he rightly mentioned the 1.3 percentage attracting capital in startup ecosystem. Whosoever come, they ask me and Bharat sir always, any principal secretary industry here, when will you come out with a unicorn? And every time we have to face that we are not able to attract the investment the way Bangalore is attracting, or Hyderabad, for that sake, Pune or Mumbai. The transactions are happening very fast. But Gujaratis, basically, they are the people who want fast and easy money. These two things are cling with Gujarati, and for that sake, I would recommend everyone to read Easy Money, the book written by Mr. Vivek Paul. And it unleashes right from subprime crisis to everything you will come to know. And Gujarati are basically fond of these two things. They want fast and easy money. They because whenever any US companies or deep tech company they come into India, or when they start any venture, they have 8 to 10 years even loss making projections. And then 10th year onwards, they'll have break-even point and everything. So in Gujarat, whenever we invest, even in the land, after 6 months, people will ask, इसका डबल हुआ कि नहीं है, कितना था ਵਧਿਆ? और शुरुआत में हम तो सब विटनेस कर चुके हैं, जब वहाँ पे एंजल हमने क्रिएट किए थे गुजरात में सर, तो आपने एक छोटे स्टार्टअप में 5 लाख रुपए इन्वेस्ट किया, 6 महीने के बाद पूछते अभी कितना मिलेगा? अरे उसका कंसेप्ट का प्रोटोटाइप नहीं बनाए. तो स्टार्टअप इज ऑल टुगेदर डिफरेंट बॉल गेम दैट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड. And probably made in India or make in India, Titan story सबने देखी होगी और इंस्पायर भी होगी कि भाई it takes time, idea convergence to prototype to commercialize. तो उसके सारे level they are very tough. ऋत्विक भाई थोड़ा wait करना, मैं थोड़ा right में आता हूँ, because Naitik ji is always very passionate about his idea, and we have long conversation on WhatsApp chat. He represents the Fundu's labs. Really a great ventures, and we need to applaud for him because he was working with Larsen and Toubro and was fetching a very good revenue in terms of monthly checks and everything. So no, leaving this job for a passion goal idea, and they need a special applaud. Have a big round of applause for Naitik. And the kind of the toys that they are making, it is between the age group of 4 to 14. And they are making toys which are more scientific and sensor based. So he make learning easy for the students, and both. I asked him whether you work on both motor skills and cognitive skills. He said, yeah. So the toys are helping the people across India and probably in future people across the world to help the kids to groom up with these scientific toys. And his passion for science, technology, innovation is continuous. And now he'll say more about certain things due to time constraint. I'll not speak entire profile, I think. But you tell your own story, please. You have the mic.
Hello. Hi everyone. Very good afternoon to everyone, and thank you so much for the Vibrant Gujarat regional conference and the organizing team for getting all of us here and speaking in front of you. So yes, I am Naitik Chotai. I'll just tell about myself that I did my Masters of Engineering in Instrumentation, from LD Engineering College back in 2006. And then I joined Larsen & Toubro. So because of L&T, I'm in Vadodara. So I worked with L&T for 10 years. And, after having a great career with L&T, I thought, yaar, હવે કંઈક મારા માટે કરવું છે. Right? Then I started what I can do. So I followed my passion because I was very passionate about science, technology, making science fun for kids. So I started Fundu Labs in 2016. 2017, we started our commercial operation. Initially, we started working with educational institute. We managed laboratories, for schools where school can do something in science and technology, more practically. Then as Parikh sir said that, કે જ્યારે તમે startup કરો છો ત્યારે તમારા એક આઈડિયાથી જો એ સારું ના થતું હોય તો બહુ stick નહીં રહેવાનું. You need to pivot. So we started, growing Fundu Labs in education ecosystem for 3.5 years, but we thought and we felt that the scaling what I expect is not possible, right? So after COVID, when the schools went off, there was no business with us. At that time, we pivoted, right? And at that time, we started manufacturing scientific toys. Again, in any ecosystem, you need to identify the niche and your passion. If it is aligning with your passion, if you identify there is a market gap, if you can do something on it, you identify the niche. So we started with one market, one product. Then we started to get a vertical growth. So हमने पहले कुछ product design किए, right? We went to Vadodara retailers. We went to GT market, general trade market. से हमने start किया. Then we went to Gujarat retailers. Then we went to India-based retailers. Then we thought, okay, चलो अभी एक product अच्छा काम कर रहा है. Then we need to kind of horizontally expand ourselves. Then we went to modern trade. We went to Hamleys, Crossword. Then we went to e-commerce, D2C, and in 3 to 4 years we understand so many things about startup ecosystem. Our startup was doing good. Then we went to Shark Tank season 4, and fortunately we got funded by Aman and Anupam in end of 2025. And now, yes, kind of we are present with our niche product, which we call it scientific and sensory toys in omni-channel in India, and we are kind of thinking of taking our product across the world. Thank you so much, and this is what about myself.
So thanks. That was a brief he mentioned about his entire journey. That was the first question I am supposed to ask to him. So that was over, but that was introductory. Moving fast to Mr. Rutvik Patel, convener of CII at Baroda, and as a young gentleman, I just asked him, yeah, you are the lawyer and you did lot in law firm. So will you start any firm or something? He said no. I diversified. I am more interested in processing agro waste and make my own pallets and briquettes, and will contribute to sustainable development goals. So probably he is doing a wonderful job being a young person and a lot of dreams. So please, Rutvik ji, describe your journey.
Thank you, Bhavin bhai. Thank you for this opportunity. One thing, I'm also as a lawyer, I headed one biggest engineering company of the country, TBA, almost for 1.5 decades. After that, I realized I should go for this startup journey that is into the manufacturing of the biomass and alternative fuel. As practically we are just looking now, Hormuz and everything is going on, and where we are seeing that now LPG is going very, the rapid speed, or we don't have the coal, the imported coal is having the difficult situation in India. So that time, this kind of fuel, alternate fuel, can definitely help us, help our industries to reduce the burden of the import. And this is how we are going to help the nation and also the farmers, that now if any one of you have any opportunity to go and visit Punjab, especially during the winter, practically you will see that you will not be able to find out a road because it's completely covered with the fog, right? So smog. So instead they are burning everything. We thought let's buy their agro waste, and from that let's generate this fuel. So this is an idea, and this is what we are going to give, because it is an unorganized sector. And as Dr. Saab mentioned that my background is legal, I headed engineering, and this is something different I have landed. So this is what we are trying. We are trying to support the farmers with the Make in India machineries, and in a way we are supplying to the power plants. So this is what is the journey. But I think, is this the right time to talk about the CI also?
CI, yeah,
CI,
you can. It's a Confederation of Indian Industry,
Yeah. So I would like to mention about the CII, because almost all of you are the part of the startup team. So CII, what is CII for the startup? Say outside it's so much humid, right? The time you entered into the room, you feel so comfortable. The CII plays the exactly same role for the startup. Okay, so CII has its own 10 center of excellences. It is on any of including startup can go and approach to the COEs. You don't have legal services, no problem, go there. You don't have IR services, go there. You want IPR, go there. You want quality excellence, go there. Whatever a startup ecosystem they require, CII can provide you. And I think eventually we talk about the Arohan, which is coming up, because
Yeah.
introductory, I don't want to take your time much about it.
Thanks, Rutika, for being so humble and modest. Moving here, Ankit Machaji, National Head Startup Wadhwani Foundation. Now, me and Ankit probably, we started long back now.
10 years.
10 साल से ज़्यादा 11-12 साल हो गए हम एसोसिएटेड तो हम कहीं पे भी देखते हैं तो अंकित भाई और मैं तो स्टार्टअप में होंगे सो अंकित भाई इज़ अ वेरी पैशनेट पर्सन ही पास आउट फ्रॉम निर्मा इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ जो निर्मा यूनिवर्सिटी है ही पास आउट फ्रॉम देयर and after that he was very prominent and very sincere person for developing ecosystem. He is a man of ecosystem and he has a great sincerity of purpose in him. Wadhwani Foundation, Romesh Wadhwani ji, he sold out his venture and then he thought I should give back something to the nation. So he started this initiative called Wadhwani Foundation, where initially they used to start small and medium enterprises. Initially they started with entrepreneurship education to the students, and they make a great lean canvas model and everything. They made the students aware about how to do a business. Then they moved toward MSME also, and then startup. And now they are very aggressively pursuing the startup opportunities and mentoring startups across the nation. So I have seen the journey of Ankit from joining Wadhwani as region head to a national head startup. So Ankit, please describe what Wadhwani has to offer to the young budding professional who are pursuing startups.
Sure. Thank you, Bhavin Bhai. Good evening, everyone. Okay, we started in the afternoon and now we are progressing to the evening part. Okay, quickly, how many of you are startups here? Just quick raise of...
Good numbers, yeah.
Wow,
First time I've
very
seen
nice.
these numbers.
Okay, how many of you are aspiring to become entrepreneurs or start your venture? Amazing.
Good.
Amazing. How many of you have raised funding?
Oh, good numbers, yeah.
And how many of you are now planning to go become a unicorn? Right? Everyone should raise your hand, right? So that's the spirit here, right? That's the spirit we are talking about Gujarat. So I don't have to talk about a lot of opportunities in central Gujarat. Let me start with one story. I represent a foundation, Wadhwani Foundation. So this is a story where very inspiring, and that's kind of what Bhavin Bhai said about me doing what I'm doing currently and the team that is there in the foundation. So this person, IIT Bombay graduate, affected by polio, वो IIT Bombay में जाते हैं और वहाँ पे उनको IIT Bombay में admission नहीं मिलता है, and he was challenged because he had polio. He said, we can't give you admission into IIT Bombay. IIT Bombay is so big, you will not be able to move around and complete your study. This man challenged that you bring any of your student here, I will race. And if I come first, you give me admission, otherwise I'll move. We did happen, he won the race and he got admission. Then he started, this is in the second year and third year of his, in the journey, he started one of the first canteen in IIT Bombay. This is way back in 1970 when there was no canteen like we have fancy canteens in universities today. What he did, he brought together 10 friends together, took 10 rupees, the first lesson of entrepreneurship, 10 रुपए सबसे लिया, एक corpus बनाया 100 रुपए का, went out, एक vendor को पकड़ा जिससे उसने चाय, coffee, biscuit, all of that, took orders. So IIT Bombay between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. You did not, मतलब classes नहीं थी और आपको कुछ करने को, मतलब you have to go out for eat. So he brought Zomato, Swiggy kind of thing, to the campus. Later, he went to US, did his master's, PhD, started first venture, failed miserably, second venture, did reasonably okay. Third venture that he built took an exit for more than $9 billion. 90,000 crore way back in 1999. Wow. And this is Dr. Umesh Wadhwani, which the foundation that I represent. Today, his net worth is $6.5 billion. His for-profit company is $9.5 billion. He's 81, currently runs 42 ventures along with Wadhwani Foundation. Wow. Now, our focus here, and why did I tell you this story? Because वो हमेशा से एक entrepreneur रहे हैं, तो our focus also is how do we support large number of entrepreneurs, right from students to startups to MSMEs. So all our entire continuum. So Bhavin bhai, we are still working with students, we are still working with startups, and we are now also working with small and medium businesses to help them grow. This is all at no cost, but we are looking for serious entrepreneur, serious founders who are ready to scale and execute. And we have different programs that we do across 15 countries in the world, including India, which is our major focus. Gujarat, we have a huge pool of mentors, experts, advisors, and a portfolio of companies that we are currently working with, which is valued. Current portfolio size that we have is 7,000 crore, which we want to take to 18,000 crore in the next 3 years. So that's a brief about Wadhwani Foundation. Thank you.
That's great, Ankit bhai. And as I said, the virtual entrepreneurship model, testing model, training model, it's an outstanding. Everyone should pursue that once in a life, those who are interested in entrepreneurship. And really inspiring story of Mr. Umesh Wadhwani. Honorable Prime Minister also bank on him and gave 500 crore rupees, if I'm not wrong, to the foundation and with parity of Department of Science and Technology for spreading the entrepreneurship in the country.
So it was a joint program where we didn't get the money. So we don't take any external money. This is all Romesh's personal money. But this was a joint program where government committed 500 crore. We committed 100 crore to that entire process.
So that's the man and that's the foundation on which Nation Bank. So great. Coming back to once again the Fundus, I develop a series of questions for him. So going for the retailing, no, it's altogether an absurd if somebody is thinking about this kind of scientific and sensory-based toys. So right from distribution to reaching to the first customers, which broad challenges that you have faced, Naitikji, please?
So as I mentioned, whenever we start, we start with a niche, and niche is, something what we like and something what we passionate about, right? So we started with one or two toy which, I loved, my kid loved. So again, your first customer has to be your family. तो कुछ भी आप बनाओ तो पहले घर में दिखाओ, parents को, बच्चों को, आजू बाजू, family and friends, and if they like, if they give good feedback. Generally family, friends तो अच्छा ही feedback देते हैं, but whenever you find the first paying customer, I think you should think, chalo, product mein kuch dam hai, right? So what I did, I shown this product to, kind of a nearby people. They said, okay, the product is good, go and just sell it, right? So when I started selling it, I went to the retailer, which is near to me, right? So a toy retailer, then they said, okay, yaar, product to acha hai, price mehenga hai, packaging chota hai. Then, I went to another retailer, let's say 3-4 retailer ne to kisne bola ki yaar, I'll not be able to sell it, the product is good. He said that product size is very small and this is not designed for Indian market. ठीक है यार, चलो, so we need to keep on trying, right? So maybe 6th or 7th retailer said कि यार चलो यार, I love you, I love your product. So let me keep, if बिकेगा तो पैसा मिलेगा, बाकी नहीं मिलेगा, product वापस लेके जाओ. Then, we started with maybe the first order of 4 kits. Then 8 kit, 10 kit, not only in Vadodara, right? We need to visit. So I personally visited with a bag of, my products, entire India, founded retailers, distributors, showing product, maybe I would say 90% of people said this product won't work, but at least, anyone, in this ecosystem, if you try, I think you'll find 5-10% people who will believe in your product, who will believe in you. And I think with those, you can get a product feedback, you can get a market entry. And with that niche, slowly you get into the market and then you crack one product, one market at a time and then slowly growing horizontally. So this is how any product has to get into the market.
Yeah, so So it requires, I believe, perseverance, and what he literally manifested is a perseverance. He didn't give up, because normally retailers talk in a very bad words. यार बकवास है, छोड़ो इसको, ये नहीं चलेगा. Sir, आपके जैसे बच्चे बहुत आ गए, अपने products आपके पास रखो. I worked 25, 26 years back. I was a pure FMCG guy, took care of half of Gujarat, and dealing morning from distributor to dealer and CNF and retailer, it's altogether a different ball game. One should be in the sales sometime in life, believe me. One should be in sales. It will make you tough from within, and you'll be able to compose yourself. You will create a poise for yourself. So on that note, but we have ex-Reliance guy also now will slowly open the cards. Mr. Samir Parikh ji is with us. Sir, where the young students are giving up, and what is your advice to them? Because almost there is a generation gap of 20, 30 years between you and those who are sitting, and he started very late, now giving up. So he said age is just number, looking so young and charming. Huh? So,
Thank you for saying that.
so please tell us.
Okay. No, Dr. Bhavin, I think one very important thing, and you talked about sales, so I will start with that first and then come to the other aspects as to from student to entrepreneur, what are the things you need to take care of. I think every startup founder needs to be a salesman. Yeah. If you are not a salesman, if you are shy of selling your products and services and even yourself, please do not opt to become startup founder. I don't think that's a great idea. You got to be person with very strong conviction. That's the first thing any successful salesman has. They are people with very strong conviction about whatever that they are selling. Solutions, services, products, confidence about market expansion, confidence about the sector. એટલે તમને જો એ થોડુંક એવું લાગતું કે યાર મારે તો કોઈને કહેવું નથી તો નહીં થાય. મને યાદ છે ટાટા સ્કાય used to release ad some years ago. પૂછને में क्या जाता है? You know what's wrong in asking. And I think that's the first thing you need to develop that. I think the second aspect, as a student, ઘણીવાર આપણને એવું લાગે છે કે I am just a student, what can I do? How can I, work on this? Can we create this or not? And I think there are successful people, including here a young lady sitting here, and in just few years the way she has created. So I think there are many success stories across the globe. તમે ઝેપ્ટો જુઓ કે કર્સર જુઓ, આ બધાએ કંઈક ઇનફેક્ટ એથર સ્ટાર્ટેડ ઇન IIT મદ્રાસ. ઓકે, એટલે અને એવું પણ નથી કે it has to be in the top ranking institute. I think it is because everyone from IIT Madras, they don't create ether, or everyone from let's say some top ranking institutes, they are not the great unicorn founders. It's heavily dependent on individual. So the most important part is when you start your journey, make sure that you are not getting, or I would say that consider failure not as opposite of success, but part of success. I don't think any single entrepreneur in the world, and believe me, I have not come across, I must have worked with not less than few hundred entrepreneurs because my work also involves that. Across the globe, it's not just India. I have not come across even one who won't have a story to share about his or her failure. It is impossible to even think that well-established entrepreneurs won't have failure any longer. No. So that's part of our story. And that's what he was talking when Naitik was talking, when Harsh was talking about the whole journey. And I was in fact amazed કે આ સેક્ટરમાં આવા ડીપ ટેક, આ તો એકલું ડીપ ટેક નથી, I am going deep tech plus because it has so many regulatory framework within which you have to work. પ્લેન વેનિલા એઆઈમાં થોડા ઓછા છે, જ્યારે આમાં ઘણા વધારે છે. એટલે I think from that angle I would say that continue your journey. The third and most important aspect is don't shy in taking advice from others. ઘણી બધી વાર we have this syndrome of મને બધું આવડે છે, or I know about my field so much કે બીજા મને શું શીખવાડવાના હતા. I think anytime I interact with anyone, irrespective of the age, I learn. I think that's learning as a orientation. I mean, you talked about, some of the large corporates. And one such large corporate, and this is the era when biotech was just becoming a field. And they, the entire top management, engaged some consultant, and they did attend a workshop for 2 full days just to understand that field. આ શું કરી શકે છે ને આમાં શું બીજું થશે and what kind of research is going to come. So I think everyone learns and keep that learning orientation, then you will be able to move ahead.
Great, Mr. Samir Parikh ji. He said learning and failure. See, both the things are equally important. The graduate who thinks I'm graduate today will become illiterate tomorrow. That's a very famous saying. So we all are the learners and we all are learning. But failure is again important. How many failures you can digest in your life? So that is also require a lot of patience and learning and advice from a person who give you the wisdom, not knowledge, information, forget. These are the small things, but the wisdom is a last word. So you need to contact the person who can imbibe that wisdom in you. Ritvik ji, when this Hormuz and all you were telling started, Mr. Vimal Ambani, the elder brother of Mukesh ji, he called me, Bhavin, you are doing the startup ecosystem and why we are begging for the gas from all these countries and you have CBG models. Why don't you Uberize that CBG model, compressed biogas? We have a lot of bovines. We have almost 90 million, 9 crore. So compressed biogas is next story. Now you must be in your Instagram reel also getting the workshop of compressed biogas and creating alternative energy and all these things. So we said, why don't you start? And then I started studying the various problems of alternative energy and came across with various models why we have failed. And believe me, we are not successful in creating one good biogas model. We are not able to create one good CBG. Sir, I'm really feeling bad to say and share with all of this audience. For the years we are working on this biogas, but still we do not have full proof. And I studied all the models, a biogas from 5 crore to 50 crore. They do have their own problems. I don't want to name the big organization of the country. They are also miserably failed. So, amid all this, Ritvik ji, how do you think that you will make an organization which will success and why you took that risk?
So I have one USP that's a secret, open secret, and it's quality, just quality. And I believe my customer is not foolish. My customer knows +1 than what I know and what I'm going to tell him. These two are the fundamental proprietary values that I am adopting and I'm putting into my organization and my people. And that is only the reason that why I have been invited by the corporates to come and set up their plans. So I'm fairly young in this activity. It's just, a few years, like two years, AgroWest and all. So the story is very interesting. I was in Europe and I saw something. It's a sort of pallets type. I was not aware it's called pallets or what. And I checked with, it was Switzerland precisely. And I asked that store guy, sir, what is this? And he just looked at me like as if I'm appearing as a fool. But I accept, I was fool, I was not aware. And then he told me, sir, this is, we do barbecue and for heating, this is the product we use it. And I thought, yeah, if it is, then how is it made? He said it's from wood. Then that triggered the spark and I decided to look into this further and finally I entered into this field and I adopted this USP. People mix up the things, which I don't do it. Yeah, I may be earning little less, but
Yes.
at least I'm keeping my customer happy that they are paying X money and I'm returning exactly X plus 1. So this is the secret.
So very true, Ludwig said he shrink the margin and not having that audacious goal in terms of margin, but delivering the quality, which rarely happens in business, because when you enter into the business, you become more greedy, that how fast I'll achieve my break-even point, ROI and profit margins. So everybody's thinking on that. When you say fools, yeah, in startup we raise the fund, or when we bootstrap any venture, we start with friend, family and फंड किससे रेज करते हैं? फ्रेंड्स, फैमिली एंड अरे फूल्स यार. वी रेज द फंड्स फ्रॉम फ्रेंड, फैमिली एंड फूल्स, क्योंकि होशियार लोग तो हमको पैसा देंगे नहीं, लेकिन किसी को हम उल्लू बना दे और दे दिया. सो वी FFF, this is called FFF model of raising and bootstrapping. It's a normal terminology for when you said fool, yeah, fools may help us, and ours is a fool's paradise, so we should not bother about it. Moving further, Ankit is a good storyteller. No, the way he described about Ramesh Wadhwani. Ankit ji, I want to learn, and you tell us as a Gujarat ecosystem, you observed in last 11, 12 years. I was together, but where we need to improve.
Okay, so most of the things Samir Bhai has covered, Rutik Bhai has covered. We are not in the gap of lot of opportunity. Gujarat as a state has lot of opportunity. When I go across the state of Gujarat, work with close to around 5,000 startups in India across 18 states. And we are already top, right? Number 1 as a startup ranking and everything. 3 things. One is, as a Gujarati, Samir Bhai said, Badu avde che, is what the one thing that I have noticed among young 18-year, 19-year, 20-year-old. And I like the passion, I like the confidence, and in the age of AI, aapko sab aata hai, good. Learning, of course, continue, but I just want to add here that there are some people, Samir Bhai, Bhavin Bhai, Rutvik Bhai, Naitik Bhai, all of them have done some journey in their life. And if you can learn one mistake that they've committed so that you don't repeat. So have a good mentor in this panel that you can see. Get one of such people on your side to guide you, like Krishna for Arjun. That will help definitely. 2 things that will do for you. One, they will help you create a better story that you can go to a fool and make him fool, so that you get your funding and so that you can scale. Second is, they can correct your story so that you can make more fools, right? So if you're not being able to make fool, like for example, Romesh keeps saying he pitched 249 investors for his first venture, 149. This is way back in 1970, 80s. 150, 150 or 151 was the first investor he got into his first venture, which failed. But now you don't have to go 149, right? You can use that knowledge to get first or second fool quickly on your side to get you started. So एक स्टोरी लाइन पे काम कर सकते हैं आप. दूसरा, एक मेंटर लेके आइए जो आपको अच्छे से without any idea, without any revenue, without any good deep thing in the product, can make you sound like you're doing wonderful. Third, I was interacting with few startups in the exhibition hall, and I saw they've created good products, and I mean good product. Arduino लगाया है, अच्छा PCB लगाया है, अच्छा 3D printed कराया है, सब कुछ कर दिया है, but not been able to identify customer कौन है. वो struggle मैंने across गुजरात देखा है, क्योंकि हमारा background है, हमारे पास capital है, हमारे पास infrastructure है, पापा का business है, मम्मी का business है, everything, and because government of Gujarat is gracious enough to give you 50 lakhs easy money that we spoke about, हम product बनाने में लग जाते हैं. प्रोडक्ट बनाने में लग जाते हैं विदाउट इवन आइडेंटिफाइंग कि कस्टमर कौन है, कौन खरीदेगा, और फिर वो आगे स्टोरी नहीं है. दैट इज वन ऑफ द रीजन, भाविन भाई, इज व्हाट वी आर लुकिंग एट. वी आर नॉट बीन एबल टू अट्रैक्ट कैपिटल इन गुजरात. वी डोंट हैव डर्थ ऑफ इन्वेस्टर्स. लॉट ऑफ पीपल हैव मनी इन देयर पॉकेट, विलिंग टू इन्वेस्ट, but this is missing. 3 things if you can work: I think you don't have to go anywhere out, not even to Ahmedabad, sitting in Anand, Nadiad, you can raise good capital. I have seen a semiconductor venture based in Rajkot. I have seen 100 crore toys manufacturer based in Rajkot. I have seen a similar waste management system, 70 crore startup based in Surat, raising funds. So there are enough stories that we are working with. Happy to talk, but all you need is these three things. So, over.
That's true, Ankit bhai. A lot of startups are there who got the success, right from Beardo to our very own Hubilo. Bharat Saab gave the chance to the Hubilo guy. हम लोग वाइब्रेंट गुजरात स्टार्टअप समिट कर रहे थे एंड उस सबसे पहला कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हमने उसको दिया वेबसाइट डेवलप करने का दैट हुबिलो गाय एंड देन ही गॉट द फंडिंग फ्रॉम लेट्स वेंचर $10 million एंड रेस्ट इज द हिस्ट्री सो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ गुजरात इंडस्ट्री कमिश्नरेट और बाकी सब भी ट्राई करते हैं कि स्टार्टअप्स को हम दें उसके लिए रिपीटेड नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स हमने टेंडरिंग कंडीशंस कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ करने के लिए और स्टार्टअप्स को प्रायोरिटी देने के लिए भी कोशिश किया है और आगे की पॉलिसी में भी साफ करेंगे हम लोग उसके GR भी है वेरी मच देयर लेकिन ये सब बोल रहे हैं कि अंकित भाई ने बोला कि है इफ़ यू आर एबल टू आइडेंटिफाई हु इज़ योर कस्टमर एंड कस्टमर इज़ किंग कस्टमर इज़ क्वीन कस्टमर इज़ डस्ट काफ़ी है तो किंग क्वीन किड भी कस्टमर है बच्चे भी कस्टमर है सो everyone you need to understand whom you are serving and whom you are selling this particular product. So once you identify your customer properly, probably your half problem is solved. So this is the issue. Moving further, I'll wrap up in next 2-3 minutes. I'll ask one line from each of our panelists. But before we move towards that, I think Rutvik bhai need to say something. Yeah. I'll come to you. Yeah.
No,
please.
just one thing, what Ankit bhai mentioned about the product. So there is a research platform, and before you go for any product, the government of India has its funds of 100,000 crore. 1 lakh crore no fund છે સરકાર પાસે. If you are going for the research, it is still unutilized. And if you are a fantastic startup and you have done very good research, like my research partner is IIT Gandhinagar. So if you have this kind of MOU with this industry or with the institution and you feel that you have fantastic platform to give back to the nation, you go to central government, they'll be happy to give you this fund. And it is 100,000 crore which is unutilized, fairly unutilized.
So rightly said by Rutvik bhai, IIT Gandhinagar, we have developed the clusters. One cluster is working on energy, one is on agri-tech, one is on renewable part, one is on fast moving consumer goods, one is on semiconductor. So they have developed research cluster and this is a mandate from central government. The Institute of Excellence or Institute of Eminence, they are supposed to develop a research clusters. Now IIT Gandhinagar is inviting everyone. You can also become research partner. Just write them the mail, go with them and they're very good professor, believe me. Right from electrical engineering to mechanical to civil, very good professor, they'll talk with you. One of my startup, she was working on brain computer interface, BCI. I trained her for several years. We get authentication from IIT Gandhinagar professor, Mr. Professor Meyapuram. He was a good professor in BCI. So you can also get authentication. And if you will have authentication from IIT Gandhinagar, IIT Delhi, IIT Mumbai, then probably you will be able to fetch good money or your pitch deck will have that weight in you. So try to collaborate, as Rutvik rightly said, with the Institute of Eminence or these national institutions who are very reputed. If you'll see the Great Brain Race book written by Ben Wilbarsky, then the book started, he was covering education in New York. That book started with the example of IIT Madras because IITs are the great institutions and right from Bill Gates to everybody confess that they are the smartest community, second smartest community he said on the planet. So try to do that and one turning point, Shark Tank to get, everybody is having an attraction from that, but one turning point before Shark Tank, Naitik ji.
So yeah, I mean, as I was into a process of building the Fundu Labs, right? And the Shark Tank even started in 2021. So I was the Shark Tank's, first, kind of a customer in terms of audience. So almost season 1, season 2, season 3, I saw almost all the episodes and I was just implementing everything, together, learning and implementing. And maybe at the end of your 4th year, I felt now I'm ready, right? So So, because of that, I prepared myself so well, and I was 100% confident कि भाई हम अगर जाएंगे ना तो टीवी पे तो आना ही है, right? So that was what the perseverance is all about. Means you need to learn, you need to put efforts, like anything. And once you are prepared, I think you must try going there. The thing after Shark Tank is, if you go to Shark Tank, for preparation of that, you need to think of so many things about your business. So before going to Shark Tank, let's say you understand your business maybe 10x better, than you understand maybe one day before, right? Because you know that sharks are there, they are going to ask so many things about your finance, your cash flow, your future projections, how your MVP is there, how you will grow maybe next 5-10 years, how you will pay back the money. So because of that, you need to learn so many things. And I think because that is the most important thing you get before you go to the Shark Tank. And then if you appear on Shark Tank, it is a very good validation of your business, yourself. And after Shark Tank, if you get the funding, I think you need to be very strong in compliances and everything. And because of that three things, I would say, the confidence you get, the preparation you do, and then after, to match their requirement, the compliances and the speed what you build, it's I would say, it's highly valuable. So this is what I faced.
So compliance is most important in governance also, and when somebody will give you a term sheet. So term sheet is very important. Whenever you are, when you are attracting any investors, term sheet is very important thing. And right now, let me hurriedly say 3-4 things about what Bharat Sahab, Industry Commissioner Department, Government of Gujarat has done in startup ecosystem. We started with the Student Startup and Innovation Policy, where we used to give you 2.5 lakh rupees and 10 lakh rupees in a startup Srujan scheme. So that is handled by Student Startup and Innovation Policy, Government of Gujarat, Education Department. तो 2.5 से 10 लाख रुपए आपको मिल गया. फिर Industry Commissionerate Policy, which is number 1 in India and probably perhaps number 1 in the world also, which give the seed money up to 50 lakhs. 2026-31 में 40 lakh rupees आपका 30 lakhs था, जो बढ़ा के 10 लाख और किया. If your startup is having a social impact, तो 40 लाख का बना. और 10 लाख रुपए और देंगे if you're in deep tech, if you're manufacturing semiconductor, if you're in aerospace, तो 10 लाख और मिलेंगे. वो तो कोई अपना कोई बाप है अपने बेटे को नहीं देगा 50 लाख रुपए. इंडस्ट्री कमिश्नरेट गवर्नमेंट ऑफ गुजरात दे रहा है इफ देयर इज अ मेटल इन योर आइडिया. तो 50 लाख रुपया जो है वो भारत साहब और इंडस्ट्री कमिश्नरेट की डिपार्टमेंट की जहमत के बाद आपको मिल सकता है. अभी अब सोचिए 50 लाख रुपीस ना. उससे ऊपर जाके हमने 4 साल पहले जब हम लोग मिले थे ब्रेनस्टॉर्म किया था कि वैल्यू ऑफ डेथ का कंसेप्ट होता है. इट्स कॉल्ड अ वैल्यू ऑफ डेथ. आप प्रोटोटाइप डेवलप कर लो, प्रोडक्ट बना लो, 30-40 लाख ये फंड मिले थे, सब खत्म हो जाएंगे. उसके बाद स्टार्टअप मिजरेबली फेल होता है. 98% ऑफ स्टार्टअप्स फॉल इन दिस वैल्यू ऑफ डेथ. तो वैल्यू ऑफ डेथ क्या है? वो फंड साइज 50 lakhs to 3 crore rupees, जहां पे आपको अपनी फैक्ट्री डालनी है, जगह लेनी है और एक्चुअल प्रोडक्शन शुरू करना है, मैन पावर डिप्लॉय करना है, मार्केटिंग की टीम, ये सब रखना है. वहां पे स्टार्टअप सरेंडर कर देता है. या तो उसको कोई ले जाता है, खरीद लेता है, आइडिया ले लेता है, या कोई इंडस्ट्री पर्सन. तो उसके लिए मैंने रिक्वेस्ट किया था. भारत साहब थे तब, गुप्ता साहब थे, और एंड वी गॉट सक्सेस इन ब्रिंगिंग 100 crore फंड एट GVFL, गुजरात वेंचर फाइनेंस लिमिटेड. तो GVFL में ऊपर से जब सेंट्रल में गया तो PMO एडेड 100 more crore. So it become 200 crore rupee fund, and for next 5 years, so 1000 crore fund. So Gujarat Venture Finance Limited, if you are doing and testing your prototype, if your all TRL level, technology readiness levels are ready, you can go for funding in this different series of funds. So sky is the limit for the funding, and Government of Gujarat is offering everything to young budding startups for you. That's you who need to analyze. Sir, last, once again, word of wisdom from Samir Parikh ji, that what Gujarat and young students should do if they want to succeed in entrepreneurship or startup. Anyone?
I think I already talked about sales, and while listening to him, a couple of other things came to my mind. Is I think being a startup founder or even being an entrepreneur means stress is part of our life. Start enjoying stress. Start feeling happy when you get stress, because that is going to bring out creativity from you. So don't run away from stress. When he talked about value of death, 50 lakhs to 3 crores, that's where stress comes. કારણ કે મારે બીજાને મેનેજ કરવાના છે, કોઈકને લાવવાના છે, છોડી જાય છે, ક્રિટિકલ માણસ આપણો જતો રહે છે, એ આપણું સેમ વસ્તુ ચાલુ કરી દે છે. All these things are part of life. એટલે સેલ્સની જેમ જ સ્ટ્રેસ એન્જોય કરો. And the last part is don't lose out your spirit. I think in mid-30s when I decided to resign from Reliance and start, તે વખતે તો startup જેવો word જ નહોતો. But when I started, I think the only thing that helped me was the spirit. And that has brought me to this place where I am. So,
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. One line, young entrepreneur, one line for all of us.
I would recommend there is a big startup event which is going to come on 9th of July in Ahmedabad that is called Arohan 2026. So I am the convener for the CI Gujarat Startup Task Force. So 3 things will be there. One is we have inducted concept of Dhanavarsha. So VCs, private institutions, bankers, they are going to come, including the Exim. They have the Ubarte Sitare concepts. So they will be there to help to have a dialogue with the startup. Where do you require the fund? They'll be there. Secondly, about the market. So for market, at CII, we have a number of big industries as our member. So most of the people, almost 20 to 25 industries are going to join this event, wherein the startup will have direct one-to-one dialogue with them. It will be like B2B meetings with the industries. Probably as a startup, if I go and stand in front of Samir Bhai will never give me time. But because of this startup, definitely I can approach him at that Arohan 26. And the third one is, it is something different creativity that we are inviting the ambassadors of some of the countries. So that is going to open the horizon and new doors for the startups to export from here. So I recommend that you please attend this Arohan 2026, which is to be scheduled at Ahmedabad on 9th of July, will be inaugurated by the Honorable Minister Shri Arjun Bhai Modwadia and will be graced by the central government as well. So this is my submission to all of you.
Thank you. One line, Ankit ji.
So to fuel your journey, make sure that you start talking about how to fool, right? Storytelling. So do that. Thank you.
So that's a great, Ankit, I always cherish and treasure on that note. Thank you, Ankit bhai. Thank you, Samir ji, Rutik bhai, Naitik Chodai ji, and my dear friend Ankit, and all of you for patience listening. Wish you a great day. ખેર હું મને બધું આવડે વાળો છું 26 વર્ષ આફ્ટર MBA મેં MBA જ પ્રોડ્યુસ કર્યા. થેન્ક યુ.
I would request sir, please be organized for a few minutes. Considering the time, we can take quick 1 or 2 questions. Yes, sir, with the panel. Sir, please be seated.
So I'm the right person because I've been always in the committees of Gift City for last 10 years. We are bringing FinTech and Courses Institute, International Financial Institute, IFI is there, Mr. Gupta is heading it. And we are bringing a lot of things. Apart from that, Global Capacity Development Center, GCC, we are working closely on that, and Department of Science and Technology is also reframing the strategies and investment limits for GCC. So GIFT, believe me, in next 5 years will create minimum 20,000 jobs for the young people. Vijay Shekhar Sharma, he told you last time in Infinity Group, he was there. He said, I'll personally invest 100 crore rupees, and all these fintech companies, semiconductors, fleet management companies, and leasing, shipping leasing companies, they will be there. So keep close eye on GIFT. It will be the next boon for Gujarat and India. Sir. ये सबसे डिफिकल्ट काम है. कौन करेगा रिया? सही करना चाहिए, क्योंकि जो लोग यहाँ पे चले जाएंगे पता नहीं चले. एक ग्रुप में डाल देंगे जितने लोगों ने रजिस्टर किए हैं. हाँ, ईमेल आईडी सबके लिखे हो, नहीं लिखे हैं. Surely, sir. I really appreciate it.
Sir, just after the seminar, we'll give you the email IDs of the respective speakers. If you
और हमारा सिंपल है profbhavin@gmail.com. हम प्रोफेसर रहे पूरी लाइफ. profbhavin@gmail.com. डाल दो कुछ भी. चलो. ठीक है? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I request the panelists. One
Question,
question.
yeah, young lady, yeah. उसको
Yes,
chance देना
yes.
पड़ेगा.
Last question, yes,
वरना gender
please.
bias हो जाएगा, please. सर बोलना है? हाँ. law वाले को बोल देना.
Yeah. So this is about it's about the carbon emission. Yeah. So whenever there is a carbon emission, so there are the mechanism available wherein the company can go. Either they can produce this carbon credits, or they have to buy the carbon credits, and this is the way they can set off this. Blue carbon. No, I have no idea about it.
ये बहुत technical काम करके ना बाहर tech की लगी होगी. Nah, you should because nobody is knowing.
I mean, અમને લોકોને આઈડિયા નથી ને આઈ થિંક I would suggest you to drop an email because I also chair the ecology organization, Gujarat Ecology Society. Although I am not expert on blue carbon, I am sure one of our team members must be. So we'll put you in touch with them. Just to last couple of things, and we'll have to take questions offline. I mean, the gentleman there is raising. Just to take two things. One is Bangalore, જેવું જ વડોદરા પણ startup capital બની શકે. I think it is all in our hands. Government ઘણું કર્યું છે. I think numerous things are there done by government of Gujarat, and latest policy તો mind blowing છે. But I think as a people we will have to, and Bangalore is made startup capital by their people, not by the government. Just to clarify. મારું પણ સેન્ટર હૈદરાબાદમાં છે એટલા માટે હું કહું છું. Okay. And the last part is કે 4th of July we have a master class by Vipul Mehta on term sheets and raising funds. It's a very important one. Get in touch with TAI Vadodara Secretariat and they will facilitate your registration. You are most welcome to attend that 3 hours master class which is taking place on 4th July morning at Surya Palace. But you will have to get it registered because there is a heavy rush and we need to control that. Right.
Thank you.
You can share our number, but please share her number with us.
Sure, definitely. So huge round of applause for a budding entrepreneur and our panelists.
ये सब green hydrogen पे पढ़े थे, इसने blue carbon निकाल दिया. She is very
Yes.
intelligent.
So I would request Kiran ji to please felicitate our panelists one by one. So please. Please give a good round of applause for the platter. So I would request a group photo of all the panelists. Bharat sir, Kiran ji. Thank you so much. So it's not over yet. We have 2 more sessions to go. So please keep the same enthusiasm as it was before. So for the next, I would request Bharat sir to welcome our distinguished guest for the next session. I request everybody to be seated. So we have more interesting sessions still there, and We'll be giving all of their contacts, so you can contact them separately as well. So please be seated. So shall we start? Are we all here? So please give a good round of applause for the participants to keeping the same rigor throughout the seminar. Energy nahi hai bilkul bhi. Come on guys, young people. Yes. So for the next session, I would like to invite Bharat sir to introduce our esteemed guest.
I'm just, for the sake of, I'm just breaking the sequence for a moment because we have a very special invitee here who was invited by me only, a gorgeous lady. And why I'm saying we are breaking the sequence because I'm adding a little different flavor now. I invite Shweta Brahmbhatt. Formal introduction will be given by Shruti, but you will find that the flavor has changed. We will have a different flavor for the session. You will find in her a youth icon. She's a very articulate orator, writer, observer, and what more, she will formally also will, Shruti will tell us. Please give a warm welcome to Shweta Brahmbhatt with good applause, please.
Yeah, please, please. So for the next session, innovation generally, how do we measure? We measure in number, market traction, scale, funding, right? But I feel the most meaningful innovation story is something which has created an impact on a larger society as a whole. So to give a real purpose and to understand as how people, policy can go together in hand to make a progress, we have Shri Shweta Brahmbhatt, a civic leader, researcher, and a public policy communicator to address the gathering. And the topic for the session today is the only innovation story worth telling. I welcome you, ma'am.
All right, good evening, everyone. I think it's almost evening, right? Yeah, about to be. So, you heard about growth catalysts, you heard about deep tech, you heard about AI, you heard about semiconductors and India's place in the next, global chip race. You heard about founders, I suppose, who spoke about what they are building. You heard how Central Gujarat is ready for its next chapter. Fascinating, all of it, isn't it? So I was wondering, like I was sitting here watching, and then I went through the agenda, that what is it that I could possibly add today? Since, as Barhaji said, it is last moment, that was decided. So, but what is it that I could add that hasn't already been spoken in this room? Because just like you, when I have gone to many seminars, and then as an audience, I wonder what is it that I could add, that I have been given added to. So with that perspective, I was wondering, and then when I went through the agenda or the schedule, I figured that there is something present in the room where enough mention has probably not been made. Something which made every pitch possible, every idea worth pursuing, every risk worth taking. It's not built by an accelerator. It's not created by a policy. Something which is present probably in every chair right now in front of me. Something that walked through this door this morning and would walk out either more confident or a little doubtful. We don't know. But that choice is what I want to talk about. Not the startup, but the founder. Because here's the thing, nobody told you when you started that the hardest thing that you will make is not the product, it's not the company, it's not the team, it's yourself. Ask every founder. They didn't just start a company, they started a conversation with their own selves. Who am I? What am I really believing in? And how far will I go? That conversation is everything. That conversation is the starting point. You know, when we talk about startup, we talk in the language of markets, of ARR, total addressable market, runway, and customer acquisition cost. Important, necessary, but incomplete. Because every startup ever created, every company, not just a startup, every company that has ever been created in the history, it did not start because there was a market cap. It was found not because there was a market, it was found by an entrepreneur who had a purpose. Now think about it. Like, I'm sure you guys, since you're aware about the startup thing, so I'm sure you're aware that what about Steve Jobs? He didn't build Apple because he saw a market opportunity. He built it because he believed that technology can be simple, can be easy, and can be beautiful. Jeff Bezos didn't build Amazon because he thought that, I want to sell products online. He created it because he believed that there is an easier way for people to shop, a faster, more convenient way. Our very own Sridhar Vembu. He didn't build Zoho because he wanted to compete with Silicon Valley. He built it because he deeply believed that great companies can be built from small towns in India. That talent doesn't have a zip code. So it was one man's refusal to accept geography as destiny. So if you look at all these entrepreneurs, one common thread among all of these is because they had something deeply personal. They went deep within themselves to find out something universal to offer to the world. They didn't build a company because they found a market. They built it because they found a purpose. So every founder who's sitting here right now, I just have 2 questions to ask you. Not what you are building or what problem you are solving, but who you are becoming in solving that problem. Because that second question will outlast every pitch deck that you'll ever make. Sorry, I stopped my chain of thought. Yeah, so that second question is very important for you to answer. And here's the thing about India. Why I'm more interested in having more and more people, go about and build their startups and build their companies is because we in India are at a moment where the country needs people like you. Not just your valuation, not just your product, but you. Shaped, forged, and certain. Because like most of us, we know that we have this dream of becoming a Viksit Bharat. But do we ask what is stopping us from becoming a Viksit Bharat? What is stopping us from becoming a developed nation? It's not lack of talent. India has talent. It's not lack of ideas. India has ideas. It's neither the lack of opportunities. India has opportunities. What we do need is more and more number of people who can go deep within themselves and who can offer the solutions to the challenges that stop us from becoming developed nation. So I believe the next chapter of India is not going to be written just in parliament or in policy documents, but it's going to be written by people like you who dared to believe, who dared to begin, who dared to persist. And in that process, you build yourself. So I just hope that when you go from here, you ask this question to yourself, not how big company I'm going to make, not whether it's going to be a unicorn or not, but I hope that you have this idea, this thought, you go through this process of going deep within yourselves and you create something. Because 20 years from now, when your children will ask you, where were you when India was becoming a developed nation? I hope your answer is not, I watched it happen. I hope your answer is, I built it. So wherever, like after this, you go, you get busy with your work, but remember that the market is not watching you as closely as you yourself are. Every decision that you will make is not gonna shape the company. It's gonna shape the person who will look back and say, I went deep within myself, I built something. And in building it, I built something that I can offer to this country. That is the only innovation story worth telling. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a different perspective for us because generally we always talk about startups, but this time it was the founders who created that startup. So thank you so much for giving that perspective. Please give a good round of applause for Shweta Brahmbhatt. So as a token of appreciation, ma'am, I would call Ms. Riya Singha and to felicitate Shweta Brahmbhatt. Thank you, ma'am. Can I have a seat? Yeah, thank you. So as we all know, we started this seminar with a blast. So we wanted to end with a blast. Can somebody complete it? We started with a blast and yes, we want to end the seminar with a bang. So for the next session, it's a fireside chat. And the topic for this is breaking the binary, women building across traditional and deep tech sectors. Today, women entrepreneurs are not asking for any space, but instead they create their own. They are building across different sectors like science, education, deep tech, creative industries, and they believe in vision, execution, and impact. This fireside chat will bring together diverse journeys for women founders who are building across different sectors. So may I invite Ms. Swati Panchal, co-founder I-47 Global Ventures to the stage, please. Give a good round of applause, please. Yeah. She will be moderating the session. Now may I invite the distinguished panelist, Dr. Shanaya Bakeri, founder Genoscope Private Limited, Ms. Tanya Shah, founder Little Genius Academy, and Ms. Krishna Sidpura, founder Storyteller Kids LLP. I request everybody to takes their seats. Yeah, so shall we start? Shall we start? Yes. Okay, over to you, ma'am. Do you need mic? Hand mic?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I welcome all of you in these panel discussions, the Breaking the Barriers. And you can see all the female on the dais. And if any girl, female, is becoming an entrepreneur or coming up in her own growth story, we can say there is a whole ecosystem that works actually. It is not only the role of herself only, but the family, the situations, challenges, and many more the persons playing a role into that whole ecosystems and how the female candidates and female entrepreneurs actually the build up. So I welcome in this panel discussions Shanaya, Tanya, and Krishna. So my first questions, Shanaya, to you. What is that things that actually you wanted to build your venture that in spite of so many barriers or irrespective of the, you know, that your enemies say something, but no, I will build this. So what is that your inner that drives you?
I think what the previous session said, there has to be a story to every startup. Very rightly put. Thank you for such insightful words. Hello, everyone. I am Shanaya. Thank you, everyone, for inviting me here. I think why we built or started Genoscope, it was very simple. It started with a problem. I'm a scientist by profession. I've been working in the field of head and neck cancers for 15 years now. I've been in and out of clinics more often than you would think. And while we were doing that, we identified a problem. I'll start with simple numbers. Sometimes numbers do clear things. So Of all the malignancies in the world, head and neck cancers, if we look at that, 66% just come from Asia. And 58% of that is just coming from India. Gujarat is the capital of head and neck cancers. This is no new news. This has been in the newspapers, it's all over the internet, it's everywhere. It's gutka, kheni, tamaku. It's not going anywhere because vaping goes to your throats. So it's only going to amplify. So while we were working in the clinics, we realized that the numbers are high, but that is just the minuscule problem. The bigger problem is 73% of these patients require supportive treatments like chemotherapy, radiation, immunotherapy, all of that. In spite of doing all the great wonders in the world, and I've also collaborated with Johns Hopkins for various research projects, 47% of our patients come back to the clinics. They either come back with a repeat case or whatever has been given to them is not working. You see a lot of people who will come and tell you that chemo liya par chala nahi, aadmi chala gaya. It's simply this problem that we hopped onto. After a few years, while we were ideating this, cancer knocked the door back home for me. In spite of working for 15 years, I went out to look for a product that do we have anything which based on the genetics can tell me that which is the best treatment route for a patient. There was zero product in the market. Not in India, not in Asia, globally. So we started off with this idea that we want to solve this problem no matter what. And I think that was the sole motivation. When problems start knocking at your state, at your home, your mandate becomes different. So that is where we started, that is how we founded Genoscope, and that was our motive.
Amazing journey that you have narrated and how you are into this field, and actually it's touched to your heart as well, and with the passions that you are carrying. So my question, Tanya, to you. Many of times, if there is a female entrepreneur, the people judge in which sector you are or why you have opted for this particularly, the segment. Maybe it's with great intentions or might be the destiny or with deliberations that you wanted to perform in particular sector. How you have opted for that?
So before I answer, just quick question. आप में से कितने लोगों को स्कूल में पढ़ाई करना मज़ा आता था? How many actually enjoyed how teaching was done? How many didn't enjoy it? कि अरे ये हाँ देखो पीछे right? Why is that? Because the way we've been taught for so many years, learning has become boring, and the case was the same with me. I was in grade 1, I think, and they told my mom कि 3-letter words हैं, ये 10 word है, 50 times हर word को लिख लेना है तो reading आ जाएगी. And my mom's here today, and so she said, I've grown up in the US. I have learned how to read with something called phonics, जिसमें रटना नहीं है. I will teach her sounds. 1 महीना दो. If 1 महीने में she is able to read, तो आप ये उसे बार बार लिखवाना बंद कर दो. And अगर 1 महीने के बाद नहीं हुआ तो आपको उसके साथ जो करना है कर लो. And in 1 month, I was reading far ahead of what my friends, peers were reading at level. So for me, it's not like I chose education. I think education chose me. And then in terms of actually building it out, so I did my MBA from IIM Indore, and वहाँ पे ना compulsory एक class होती है entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship class में they tell you scalability, systems, venture building, and वो professor पढ़ा रहे हैं, and I'm thinking, यार मेरे तो घर में ही है, I can do this, and that's how I started. And then the first thing I did was actually go out and, like I think previous panel बोला, sales करो. तो पहले 3 months I did nothing but sit and talk to parents and convert for admissions. And that taught me more than anything in the last 5-6 years I have learned, right? क्या चाहिए parents को, क्या चाहिए kids को. And that's what also solidified कि ये idea जो है ना, it's not just about valuation but also value addition. जो हम करेंगे in terms of education for kids, वो सिर्फ हमारी valuation नहीं है, हम बच्चों के लिए भी कुछ unique कर पाएंगे. There is value being created. So that's how I actually ended up doing education as my day-to-day, every day.
So nicely narrated. You are building the future economy of India, and maybe 2047, when we are seeing the India as a developed nation, then might be you have produced such type of the candidates. They are particular what they want, and you are building the nations in that way. Amazing. Krishna, if I come to you, then many of times being a female, many rooms, maybe the boardrooms or your top 10 customers in your the vendor meetings, you may be finding yourself alone in the room and the female candidates. Many of times it's also creating the strength that yes, I can do much more better rather than male candidates. It also many of times helped you in building your organization's culture as well. So how you are looking this perspective?
Hi everyone, I'm Krishna. I like to be called as a mompreneur because I was an engineer. I worked in an MNC for many years, as I have shared with, like I heard about the previous panel. And then I started Storyteller because I found the need for my own kid. I didn't find any garment in the market which does not have superheroes or cartoons or Western culture. And we were brought up in a joint family setup where Gujarati ma kehવાય moral ઘડતર કરે આપણું. And that makes us rooted. AI is good, tech is good, deep tech is good. But imagine a child who does not have kindness, who does not have empathy, what generation we are building. So that's what we believe strongly, that we should raise rooted kids. And to answer the question, for me, that was not a boardroom or a tech room or anything. For me, it was a factory, a tailoring unit, where people used to mock me. Madam, આયા છે ને કલર જોશે, ડિઝાઇન જોશે, જતા રહેશે. That is what the laymen, the tailors used to tell. I knew that would going to be happen, so I learned stitching myself. So nobody can mock me, nobody can fool me about what time will take to make one garment. And when you start speaking their language, that this machine can produce this many units, this machine can take this many hamstring, this machine can take this many seams, they think now this is a labor who's talking to themselves rather than a client or customer who's just asking about delivery dates and everything. So then they cannot fool me, and then I earn the respect, as what we say. So that's what I learned hard way, that you have to make your hands dirty in terms to grow and in terms to get the quality which you want to achieve. So that's what I have learned in my journey.
Can I add on to what she said? What you said was fantastic, Krishna. Can we have a look around? Can we just look behind? That is how boardrooms look for us.
Yes.
This is how boardrooms look for us. And you know what is the solution? What the blue carbon girl did for you. Yeah. She gave the best pitch in 1 minute. She got 2 investors. I can promise that of all the panel discussions we had, you will not forget blue carbon. This
Obviously.
is what happens.
Yes.
You have to stand up, you have to speak, you have to think through. And it's done.
Amazing, Sanaya. They are rightly in the right directions, and continuations to that only. The capital versus credibility. Many of times we have seen that if there is a female entrepreneur, but now the era has completely changed. But I think when we have started, that time the situations was was not that startup friendly, or the female entrepreneurs, the people were looking that perspective. So if you are going out into the market, maybe it's your first fundraise or first pitching to your first big client. That time, what are the challenges being a female candidates that you were facing, and how you have overcome it?
Well, this is the most difficult question to a person who has had 56 failed interactions. I was just happy that somebody in Vadhwani Foundation has crossed us. So I think, yes, before our first fundraise, which we just closed, I had 56 failed interactions. I take it now very positively because every interaction taught me something. Now, how women approach it differently? Of course, first is the people who are writing the checks. You see a little gender difference there. And so sometimes it is not like they want to be unfair. Don't take it in your stride as if, oh my God, I am the bichari and the world is against me. No, sometimes they just fail to understand the perspective, and the onus is on us to make them understand that. Sometimes the biases are also that women led startups are coming up, but they are coming up in certain sectors. It is very sector agnostic. It is not uniform at the moment. And so, while we build that journey, a few of us, if we make it, people will be conducive to it. But till then, there will be a lot of breaking the glass ceilings. So you cannot go in with that attitude that, oh my God, I am the one who is kind of in misery here. So we need to change that. The most important thing sometimes, it's a funny thing that when you will sit down, and this I think not many must have faced, at least we faced, when you will get to the term sheet and the agreement stage, the discussions are very different. Your sick, unpresented leaves, there is a section where, if the founder is not present or not active for, say, 1 year, then there is blah, 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 blah. For women, that becomes 6 months. It is a place of negotiation. Can we move this to 4 months? All that will happen. And it's okay. Swallow your pride, get onto the negotiation table, and get it done. But all those discussions are very different. They never come up with male founders. They are never with male counterparts. It's only for the females. So that is 3. The 4th is, I think, sometimes we also feel, and it's not like a very male prerogative that I'm coming up, but women for their finances, they have to test waters. They will talk to you about cost economics. They want to know whether you know your traction or no. They will ask you to calculate your time, Sam. Take it as an exercise, take it as a challenge. Meet them at their game. The questions shouldn't come back again. So that is how we navigated this story. Of course, there are a few differences. They will iron out with time. The more representation that will come in a room, the more ironing out will happen. It is a little far off today. As I said, the boardrooms look like this. It's not new to us. But you will have to take it up.
Amazing. And again, you have very nicely narrated that many of times if you are coming being a female founder from the technical background, if you are not the finance person, then maybe the plain reading of balance sheet is not your the forte. But if you are the founder, then you are persons who is supposed to know the finance, marketing, supply chain finance, everything. So the same things and expectations is also from the female founders, and many of times they think that let's have on board some experts or mentor, but you have to deal with all these situations. And if I come to Tanya, my questions, I think the world is evolving very faster. So many of times it's also create challenging situations. Maybe if we can compromise with our product or service in this segment, and we can beat with the numbers, or we can have some more customers acquisitions. So this is always the questions on the ethical dilemma as well. So speed versus the quality. So in this scenario, how will you deal with the situations?
So I think previous Emma, somebody mentioned कि product कोई दिवस compromise नहीं करवानो. Never compromise on the quality of product. And 2, if you have a very firm belief on how you will deliver that product or service, stick to it. So I'll give you an example, right? During COVID, it was called an edtech boom. Edtech, even if you were doing anything, software based on 2 hours of coding, you were getting funding. Right? And people believed कि हवे तो YouTube थी छोकरा भंड से YouTube will become our babysitter. Yeah, all of that, right? And we had so many people come and tell us कि तमे भी आओ चालू करी दो भणवानु छोड़ो games बनाओ and you will also get funding. And for us, what stood true and still stands true as a pillar is learning has to be fun, but fun cannot be learning. મજા કરી કરીને નહીં શીખી જાય એવી રીતે. So that's something we stood by. We didn't allow a lot of the changing times to wipe away our core beliefs. That being said, there is a lot of change, right? We have to accept change as it comes. AI, for example, is changing the way the entire, forget our industry, all industries work. So you have to learn with it, grow with it. And also, you have to know when the market is right for you. ઘણી બધી વખત માર્કેટ માટે sometimes we are too early, right? Like blue carbon. You'll never be forgotten, but nobody knows about it. So maybe it's the perfect time for you to hit the market. Because you would be a market entry, first mover advantage. Sometimes you might be too early for it. Sometimes it's a saturated market. So you have to know कि market कहाँ जा रहा है और उस point पे आप कहाँ stand करते हो. So it's important to change with times, but also understand the times you are living in. Yeah.
Thank you. Krishna, if I come to you, then 3T is very much important. The talent, trust, and team. So if we speak on the talent, it's your own skill set that how entrepreneur, improvise herself continuously. The trust, how you are building trust to your the clientele, your vendor, your customers. And for the team, overall how organizations, culture, ecosystem that you are building and your ultimately team, then in that scenario, where do you, get challenges to hire them, or where you are still facing the problems, and how would you like to overcome it? Thank you.
So to start with, in the early days, the problem is not with the hiring. It's about the mindset the people come with. We should have a shared vision, I should have or hire somebody who shares the vision with me. Because if they just come for the job or the experience or the money, then they don't attach to the vision which we are. And looking at the startups which we scale, it takes time. It takes perseverance, as the previous panel said. It takes time, it takes perseverance, it takes failures. So we need some team who are on the same level at time of vision. Also, what happens when you start something from the scratch? We should have the skill set on our own. So if I talk about my brand, I have my husband who is the design strength of the brand. He looks after the design, he develops the design, he develops everything around it. But I look after the important aspects which are needed for a brand or a startup to grow, like operations, manufacturing, talking to e-commerce marketplaces, building my own website. So I've learned it all hard way, and we have all learned this together. We have never worked in silos. And to make you understand, my kid is always with me in the studio. So he is my third partner, or is what we say is the inspiration behind the brand. So you need to have that attitude from that you have to work no matter what. And that's how you build a team or the ethos of a brand. Though we are very small, we are still looking for hiring people. But if they don't fall under this thing, skill set, you can always make them learn. But if they don't have the right attitude, I've learned somewhere during the Thai meeting one day that for a team, you need to be sad to be happy. And by the definition of sad, he said skilled, attitude, and what his development is there. So that is what they have defined very beautifully, and it has been with me together,
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shania, Tanya, and Krishna for joining us. It's amazing, wonderful discussions with you, and you have given right and valuable insights and perspectives. Once again, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, panelists. Just we can take 2-3 questions if anybody have. Yes, please.
Yeah.
What's your good name, ma'am?
We need to know your name now.
Palak Patel. A good round of applause for Palak Patel again.
Yes, Palak.
Yes, Palak.
There are so many. Okay, if anyone or I. Okay.
I think you don't need to be an entrepreneur. You already are one. So on that note, I think it is not about, being I mean, on the podium we are talking about female entrepreneurs and all of that. If you are going to do your own thing and you're starting a startup, failure is a part of your journey. You will have hardships every single day. I always tell my team कि 365 days में से 11 दिन अच्छे जाएंगे. वो बाकी के दिन 11 दिन के लिए काम कर रहे हो. ठीक है? So when you are kind of there, when you are going to that trajectory, you will have failures. What kind of failures? Well, different kind of failures. If you're raising money, then that is a problem. Once you are kind of in ideation, you want to get to it next TRL soon. Government का पैसा है, पैसा आ नहीं रहा. So all of those, it depends on what stage of the startup you are, what issues you are going to face. But issues is your life story. And you have to, like the gentleman said, you have to learn to navigate and enjoy that.
Let's stop calling ourselves as women entrepreneurs. We are entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Male or women. Let's not tag ourselves, We should be given equal opportunity. So why we are tagging ourselves? Let's be called as entrepreneurs. Whichever they are facing, we are also facing. So why do we tag ourselves?
Yes, and I think there might be smaller differences, like I told you, but they might have their own story. So I personally believe, and there are raised eyebrows when I talk about it. I think when we say feminism, we are not saying that A is greater than B or B is, miserable. No, that is not the idea. The idea is to have that equal opportunity to create spaces. Like there should be equal representation. So we are getting there. Part of the journey is also to do with, mixed responsibilities that you might have, and the other partner might have, is a little liberal on that. There will be days where now in today's generation, your partner will have to take up those challenges while you are going out and making the move. So it has to be a balance, and that is on you, how to navigate, how to create. There will be hiccups. It's not this easy as it is said, but you will figure out. If your motive is clear, I want to make it no matter what, you will figure out.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Plus IIM. Okay, if I narrate my own journey, then I cleared CA at the age of 20, and after that I did so many certifications. I also pursued UPSC, and it was always my own dream that I just want to be the independent, and I love travel. Yesterday only I came from Georgia. I was the part of United Nations Indian delegate. So there was constant in my mind that I don't want anyone that you have to adhere these timelines and everything. So being into the CA, there is always, you have that upper edge that you can have your own practice, your own setup, advisory. And with the divine blessings, I tried, and I'm completely doing the fantastic in my the professions. But it's all about, I think, the hard work and the constant learning. That is only the motto nowadays, if I can say.
So one thing is, we are in a state, Gujarat, where entrepreneurship runs in our blood. हमारे मतलब खून में है, right? And I think Anupam Mittal said this on Shark Tank one day. अच्छा आप गुजरात से हो तो मुनाफा होगा ही, right? Gujarat is the capital of doing unsexy businesses, but doing them really well. Like today I was reading about an IPO which is coming for a company which makes bags, and they have a 92,000 square foot warehouse जहाँ पे वो खाली digital print के cans रखते हैं, cylinders, so that customer loyalty कभी जाती नहीं है. This is part of what we do here, and it's something we see around us every day. That's something very easy to pass on, right? So you look at, as a university where GSFC is today, all the students are getting to see, meet, talk to so many entrepreneurs, and that is a sort of opportunity which I think doesn't exist in a lot of other places, right? So that's one thing I feel we really get the benefit of when it comes to that. And then in terms of not just entrepreneurship, but entrepreneurial ability doesn't necessarily have to be कि मैं खुद founder हूँ. अगर आप कोई company में भी हो and you're entrepreneurial in your thinking, right? There's a concept called entrepreneurs in residence. These are people who operate like entrepreneurs within a company. उनको खुद का P&L दिया जाता है, make your own decisions, etc., right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be doing your own thing. It could be doing your own thing in a company as well.
So I think I'll add to the trigger part. I think sometimes for people like me, I've done my PhD, then went on to do my postdoctorate, and all the R&D that we were doing was essentially limited to either research or kind of, at the most, we went to the animal models, and then you kind of stop there. Even if you kind of go beyond that, you needed that switch where it actually goes to the right people. It has to go to people who are suffering, or it could go to the people who is diseased. Something like that was not happening. There was a hard speed breaker there. So for me, the switch started there, that if I'm doing such good work and working so hard, and eventually it's not going to go where it is supposed to go, doesn't make sense. So that is where my switch was there.
I'll just conclude this. We have time? Yeah. I'll just conclude this. Like, you are a student, I'm presuming that. Okay. Yes, you do. So what happens is, at one point of time, I was working in an MNC called Ingersoll Rand. I'm working very well. I was having a very good job, and I was enjoying that. But my turning point came when I became a mom, and then I didn't want to leave my little one. I wanted to experience his childhood. And that's when I got, very attracted towards this kind of thing. So your passion also changes at different phases of your life. So it did not be that if I am an engineer, I'm bound to work in engineering for 50 years till I retire. But sometimes this passion also, that work has helped me raise this thing. So that changes.
Thank you so much. So we'll take a last question. Yeah. I think in most of the cases, it is the motive. In most of the cases, it is the motive that you started off with in the first place. In very few cases, I think that it might be a person. It can be a collation if you have somebody who's kind of been in that position and you were wishing that you could get that person out. But at the end of the day, retrospectively, when you think about it, it is mostly the motive.
If I add some more perspectives on that, if you are the entrepreneur, if I can say that there is always, the hunger and thirst that I have achieved this, I want to go beyond that. And how much hungry you are within yourself, I think that is the thing from your inner that you will go to the upper and upper. Otherwise, after a level, there would be the saturations where your business will be saturated. Yourself will also think that I'm completely satisfied. I do not want to go beyond. So this is the stretching point where you yourself will also think that I'm completely stretched. Now I have the upper limit. I cannot go beyond. You need someone that will push you or pull you to go beyond that point. But that hunger should be within yourself to drive and do something different and benchmarking into your industry.
So just to add, right, one thing as an entrepreneur which I've believed always is your motivation is intrinsic and it has to be. External motivation can push you only so far. Another thing which I believe, and this works for me, may not work for everybody, is I don't depend on external validation too much, right? Because you have more bad days than good days. If your only force of motivation is जब कोई आपकी तारीफ करे ना, तो then तो I think it's a tough journey ahead. Having a mentor on the other hand is great for your bad days because like she said, I think 11 good days and the rest are all bad. So having that sounding board on days which get really bad is helpful.
I have a different perspective. I believe I work to be a role model for my kid because he should not have that perspective that women are bound to work for the household duties. I managed my household as well as I manage my business, and I'll also manage him. So for him, I am like a superwoman. Like she can handle the work, she can handle the house, and that has helped me build my startup because I can do multitasking even at the business. So yeah, for some people, I do work for becoming a role model. Rest is 95% is the motive.
Thank you so much. It was a great panel. And I believe this panel has given the gist of the entire seminar. And four great entrepreneurs sitting on the dais was not about how women entrepreneurs face problems and challenges. It was more about their journey in their own words. And the one takeaway which I can get or take from this session is we'll have to, if we feel we are facing a problem as an entrepreneur.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay. Yeah, I think, thank you ma'am for bringing this point out. सभी लोगों को validation बहुत ही प्यारी चीज़ है, अच्छी लगती है, right? So.
No worries, we'll have to, this is a technical glitch. Happens. So the other room is also very excited for in our session. Yeah. Anyways, so what I was talking about, that if we think as an entrepreneur that we are facing problem we belong to a particular gender, I think it's a mindset that is working there and we need to change that. And we always have to think like an entrepreneur, that everybody says. But most important is we should act like an entrepreneur, and then only the success will come. So thank you so much, panelists. And I would request Naitik ji to please felicitate our panelists. तालियां बजनी नहीं चाहिए प्लीज. स्वाति पंचाल, तानिया शाह, and Ms. Krishna Shtadpura. Can you please have a group photo, please? Yeah. So finally, we have reached the end of this seminar. And with that, I'm also interested with a very valuable role of expressing our gratitude, whoever made this seminar very meaningful. So on behalf of Startup Cell Industries Commissionerate, Government of Gujarat, I would like to thank and express my heartfelt gratitude to everybody, including the enthusiastic participants, founders, speakers, on making this event a great success. I also want to thank GSFC University, our partner institutions, our Nodal Institute, GUTA, Kiranji and Bhuvanji, our Joint Industry Commissionerate, Bharat sir, Bhatia sir, and my startup cell team and colleague Ria on extending a full support to this event, and especially the volunteers who were the backbone of this program, and support staff for their coordination and efforts in making the seminar smooth and successful. Most importantly, I thank once again all the participants for your active presence and engagement. Let us continue to support ideas, encourage founders, and strengthen Gujarat's startup ecosystem together. Thank you once again. With this, we formally conclude this startup seminar. Jai Hind, Jai Jai Garvi Gujarat. Thank you.